All right, Divine Princesses. I called my payee, and there's good news. I got some back pay, so I can afford this marketing now. So I'm going to market my book sooner than later because I was going to save up for it, but now I got some back pay money, so I can market my book so that I can get well known and I can get even paid for the book. That when it sells, I get a certain percentage out of it, and I could donate it to charity because otherwise, if I make too much, it'll cancel my SSI. So I don't want that. So if I say make too much money with my book, I'll most of my money is going to go to the charity, and I would switch that when I get a girlfriend, and all the money would go to her. You know what I mean? And then it wouldn't be in my name, so that the money wouldn't be going to me, so that it wouldn't cancel out my SSI. And then I'd still have that, and then we could all be benefiting from it. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's all I really wanted to say is the update, of doing that. But I have to make it for about 7 minutes in a podcast. I'm making so many podcasts, I'm running out of things to say. You know what I mean? But I've been watching quite a bit of YouTube this morning too, and I promise not to talk about the quitting weed thing until I'm on day 5, and I'll update you then. Still doing good. So when I get there, I'll let you know. Okay? All right. So, what do you want? Like for that next book, I'm gonna have to um, wait like a year to post the next book because I have to save up for it. And depending on how good this book does, because I really want the information out there, because this information is new information and that I came up with and that I discovered and I kind of got insight on. Uh, this information is about like the plant kingdom and how it corresponds with our lives, meaning that the oxygen, of course, that we need on the planet, but we also need the help from angelic like beings of a sort of nature. The tree's soul has a lot of smarts and capability of uh, being entwined with the oneness that's real. So it helps out things that need help when it can, and when it needs help itself, it trees really don't need any help because they're so grounded in and the reality of that. They don't need eyes to see or anything like that. They feel blissful and like magical, and then they have a level of awareness and consciousness to it. You know what I mean? But just because they can't see, just because they can't walk, just because they can't really move, doesn't mean that they're not a living soul and they're not a living being. Like a tree is still a tree, and a plant is still a plant. A plant kingdom is amazing. You know what I mean? So what I want to let everybody know is that I'm doing good, and ever since I started quitting for the 3 days that I was on before when I quit THCA, it was so good because I was feeling more elevated, more aware, more awake. You know what I mean? And that was good. And now I'm realizing the effect of that. I didn't really relapse too much, so I'm cutting down drastically. So that's good. And I'll let you know when I'm on day 5. But anyway, this is all like I'm running out of things to say right now because I already touched on what I needed to touch on. But basically, if the divine princesses have any questions for me, like of facing any problems or anything in their life, and if you need me, like talk to me, like as a yogi or something like that, I'll be glad to answer your questions and do my due diligence to do the best I can do for you. Because I love helping out the divine princess in every way. And helping out the divine princesses is helping out the divine princess because they're part of her offspring karma that is entwined with your DNA, that is related, that soul ties are real between like the oneness, and the more messed up the world gets, the worse it is for the oneness. So the more better and happy people be in a good state of mind for everybody and everything, then the one that's upheld and that's great. But what I'm trying to say now is that, yeah, I can burn incense, do different things like that. But this path that I'm on of doing due diligence of just eating one meal a day and doing the best I can with pleasing the Divine Princess and my disciplines and doing things for her. I have to be diligent in doing things for her all the time because that's when I feel better about myself. If I'm doing the best I can be for the Divine Princess and the Divine Princesses, it makes me feel like more of, because I don't like feeling pathetic. You know what I mean? I had felt like that way in the past. Was on certain psych meds. You know what I mean? And I didn't like it, but I don't feel pathetic now. And I'm like, for like about 5 days ago, it was the start of the 3 day evolution, kind of like this, where I had a lot of energy for 3 days, all of a sudden, out of the blue, out of nothing, because I actually wasn't smoking for them 3 days too, and had a lot of energy to utilize. It's just that, and I wasn't bored because I was having all that energy. And now I kind of rested from that 3 day like elevated state. I kind of rested a little bit, but now I'm like back, coming back on elevated state to be aware and awake, with all the senses of mine. And like when people don't have a directional and they're turning, I know if they're turning or going straight or whatever. I just sense it. I sense it, and they do everything I sense. Like most of the time, I'm like 90% right on my senses. Only when I get the notion that they're doing it. Sometimes I don't know. That's when I'm not getting the notion of it. But when I'm getting the notion of that they're turning or something, they turn. So I have like the sixth sense, and it's crazy. It's pretty awesome. But anyway, Neil loves, worships, honors, and obeys the Divine Princess forever. Amen. Whine like a little dog for you. I love you, Divine Princess. Whine like a little dog. Right? All right. Anyway, I love you. All right, bye.